Hey guys, Grobs again. Just wanted to put a bit of a video out explaining how I maintain and make currency throughout a league, which is a bit different to what I think most people do. I've had a few people ask me, how do I keep making new builds and each build more expensive than the other? And I'm not one to simply farm currency and sit in a hideout and flip, or I don't particularly like crafting too much because I want to play the game by killing stuff. That's just my playstyle. But I do have some things I do that make sure that I make enough currency to get wealthy throughout a league and to be able to do what I want. So I wanted to go over a couple of things with you guys. So the first thing, which every player should use, is a good loot filter. So I mean, Neversink makes one. I can put a link in the description below to his. I do customize mine a bit, but it isn't necessary. And essentially, for the people that are new, what a loot filter does is it hides a lot of things that drop. So if we just go to some random, let's go to anywhere, doesn't matter. Don't know why I went over here, but hey, this must be the spot. So for example, if I take my loot filter off right here and I start killing some stuff, nothing's dropping. Yes, sick. Perfect. This is a perfect demonstration for you guys. Okay, so like this sniper bow, look at all the white things, and obviously the higher maps you run, the more loot starts to drop. Same with everything looks similar. See how hard it is to see currencies and stuff like that. Like an enlighten would be expensive. Anyway, so look at the difference if we turn a loot filter on. I have modified mine a bit, but there are ones that work well. So now when one drops, none of the white items show. See how they're hidden? And when something worth money drops, it makes brighter, bigger, easier to see, so you don't miss it. So that's the first thing. Loot filter is absolutely massive. You can't get away with not running one. It wastes a lot of time, and you will likely miss good loot and waste too much time picking up bad loot. Second thing, now we have a good loot filter. Second thing is sort tabs. So I have 2 quad tabs that are my sort tabs. So when I'm running maps, for example, or anything, because of my loot filter, everything that drops, technically I should want to pick up because it's good enough to show on my loot filter. So I will come and I will just control click everything into a tab like this, which means I save a lot of time and I know everything in there is worth something. To me, whether it's worth something to me or to sell or to unveil, everything I want is in these tabs. Saves me a lot of time. Later on, I will come around and I will sort it all out. And maybe I'll just show you guys how to do that. So what I do is everything I know that drops here, for example, I pick up unique items to maintain alchemies. You don't have to do this, but I like doing it. So if I type in unique here, it will highlight all the uniques. All I will simply do, I will control click all of them as quick as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to do it all right now. Make sure that they are identified, and I will simply start selling them to the vendor, and I'll start getting alchemy alterations, stuff like that. Cool. So that's the next thing. I will come in and do the uniques. I will come in and type in currency, and then it's pretty simple. You come in and click all your currencies, and it's very easy to just go and dump them in your tab, currency tab. Simple. Next thing I will come and do is, at the moment, because I'm trying to unlock all the veiled recipes, I will type in veil and it'll bring up all the ones that haven't been unveiled, because I don't want to do it constantly between maps. I want to get in a rhythm. I want to clean maps, clear them fast. After that, I'll do something like maps, which brings up the divination ones as well. You can chuck them all in your tab. Anyway, that's how I sort my tabs. And normally at the end, you're left over with 6 sockets for jeweler's recipe, which is massive. So for those of you that don't know, sorry for you guys that do know, but 6 sockets you should always pick up because they vendor for 7 jeweler's orbs, which are awesome. Okay, next thing I do, I write down the price of every item I buy for a build that I'm playing. So for example, let's say this, for example. So I bought a Darkscorn. I wanted one with very good rolls and I got it for a good price, but I know I paid 7x for it. So I'll write down in a notepad document, I will write down 7x Darkscorn. What that means is when I finish the build, I don't go, oh, how much did I pay for this, and lose money if I accidentally sell it for 5 or 6. Sometimes prices drop and you will lose money, but most of the time, if you have high rolls of something and you've bought it for a good price, you can either at least get what you paid for it or you can make more. And generally, that's how I make most of my currency throughout the league. is I try snipe items for the best price and I sell them for a little bit more, couple X more. And it's huge how much you can make by just buying stuff, writing down and selling it for a little bit more. Which brings me to my next point. I always barter or bargain for something when I'm buying. So this guy had it up for 9 and I started at 6 point. I said, oh bro, can I give you 6X? I'm using an example. I can't remember exactly what I said, but 6X 80 chaos. He's like, nah, man, come to 8. So you got it, and you keep going back and forth. And then eventually I got it for 7 and like 40 chaos or something. So I saved myself an X and 70, 80, 90 chaos. And you do this over a build or two, you save exalts of gearing up. If you're willing to just ask the question. If they can't budge and you feel like you're getting a good deal, then it's fine. You've tried. Just buy it for what you think it's worth. Problem solved. Okay. Next thing. When you buy something, so I don't have it right now because I sold it, but I bought a Carcass Jack because they're very popular. And I saw one for a very good price. So I bought one. It was not socketed. It was not fused. I spent, let's just say 100 jewelers on it, got 6 socket, and I've spent 40 fuses on it, got a 5 link 6 socket. So let's say I paid 30 chaos for it because it was top tier rolls and I spent that on it. Instantly I sold it for, I actually can't remember, but let's just say I do this all the time, sell it for 100 chaos because you've put 6 sockets and 5 links on it relatively quickly. So even if you're buying gear for your character and you can't use it yet, you can flip like that too. If you manage to link it really easily and really quickly and you think, well, I could sell it, buy another one and keep trying while I'm leveling, or it's for my next character. That's another way I make money. Okay. So the next thing I do is obviously try to find good prices. So what I can show you, right? Let me just go to PoE trade. So one thing I will do, and I'm just going to use Carcass Jack as an example because it's a very common and popular chest and it has decent amounts of rolls that people are interested in. So let's just say I want to find a good price and I want good rolls. But if you search, say you search for max life, straight away it jumps up, and then say you search for max life and max damage, it does more. So what I do, you can click this button, right? See this little filter by item stats, you click this button and it automatically puts all the fields of that unique item in the filters for you. Now I'll go down and I'll go, for me it's important to have good AoE, good area damage and max life. I don't really care about the reses, let's just say. So what I do is I never search for max because max is always silly expensive. So I will go 1 or 2 below max. So let's go 49 area damage, let's go 49 area of effect, and let's go 60 life, because if you go for max of everything, it's going to be super expensive. Straight away, they're 35 chaos, right? 35 chaos, it's jumped up quite a bit. If I have that kind of money, I can go, okay, let's compare it. This one's got almost 2 max rolls, and it has really close to max life. This one's worse, it's 40 chaos. That's maybe not a bad deal. You can try barter with him. That's cool. If you can't afford that, just drop them by like 1 or 2%, and generally, things start to get a lot cheaper for not much difference, right? So the other one was 35 chaos and all it had was 3% more of this and 1% more of this. So that's what I do. I will filter things as close to max as I can get and find that sweet spot between it getting really expensive for 1 or 2% gain, which you will not see on a character if you're not absolutely min-maxing. So you can save yourself a lot of currency doing this. Now, another thing I do in the same way, I will search for decent stats and I will leave it on as a live search. What this will do is if someone posts one and it has those stats, it'll pop up and I can see what price they've put it up for. And often people will just put it up for what the lowest ones are going for. I buy the one that has good rolls and you sell it for 5-6 times what it's worth, what they've sold it for, sorry, not what it's worth, what they've sold it for. So that's called sniping deals. And I do this all the time. I have lots of live searches going throughout a league because like I said, I don't want to sit here and flip. I don't want to sit in my hideout and flip currency. That's not my goal, but this works really well. And you can do it with any item. I'm not going to keep going because the video is getting long and I actually just want to do this really quick. But those are a few of the things I do to make sure I maintain or make currency throughout a league. If you guys have any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer. I'm sure I've missed something. And look, there are going to be people that are more efficient than me at this. I'm just showing you what I do because I've had the question asked in stream quite a lot. I appreciate you guys watching. Click that sub button. I've got a new awesome build coming probably tomorrow. I'll put the video out and I think it's going to be the best build I've made. For those of you that played the Poison BV, it's another Poison build, but I think it's going to do more damage and it should have a lot more life and survivability. But yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys follows. I appreciate all the subs. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you for the support, and I will see you guys very soon. Love you, boys. Peace.